And my guest, a personal friend of mine, Tony Bennet, a fellow that really made it on his own. He started in the small clubs, worked there for quite a while, and became a real big main eventer on his own. Tony Bennet. Hiya, Tone. Good, fine. Tone, would you show the people how you stand in a nightclub just before you start singing?
Well, there are many people that have said to me many times that I remind them of a fighter when I perform, you know, and I guess it was just, you know, working with small bands when I first started in nightclubs. I'd have to punch my story over, you know, and a lot of times I finish the song with throwing the right jab.
Tone, do you really get nervous before you go out in the audience? I mean, now.
Well, I kind of pray for getting just enough tension and getting nervous enough so that I hope I do the right kind of show for an audience. I warm up and try and rehearse as much as possible in the afternoon before I get to the engagement at night.
Tony, what do you do when you get a heckler in the crowd, you know, someone that gets on your back?
Well, I usually let the audience take care of them. I usually do my performance, and if there is one heckler and the rest of the audience is enjoying it, they eventually come up with a line that'll squelch the heckler.
Tony, being that you're a stand-up singer, why don't we sit down?
Okay.
Tony, I got to ask you one question.
What is it?
Your favorite number. Do you have one?
Well, yes, it's actually the first recording I made, Because of You.
Oh.
In fact, to this day, this is I recorded it 10 years ago. I still get more requests for that song than any other song I've recorded. You know, there was one thing that I saw in a fight, the Ingemar Johansson fight with Patterson. He was sitting over on the left-hand side of us, and it was pretty amazing because it was that famous punch where the punch came so fast that no one saw it. And you were the first guy to jump up in the stadium. You actually saw it before anybody.
Tony, I was bobbing and weaving throughout that fight. When I go to a fight, fellows sitting on either side of me just move, because I watch a fight pretty close, and I still got the habit of watching every move and trying to get the reaction of the fighter. And I really did see it coming. He was setting him up with that lazy left hand. Mm-hmm. And when he saw the opening, he shot that right hand. It was one of those straight ones. Yeah. And as soon as it hit, I knew it had to do damage. I didn't realize it was so strong, and Patterson just went backwards. But I knew that he'd be hurt in that punch, and I remember standing up before anybody else.
Yes, I'd imagine that has a lot to do with just living with fighting, and actually. The same thing happens to me with singing. I could see someone like Nat Cole or Sinatra and watch them walk down the steps of the Copacabana on an opening night and more or less tell if they're going to do a good show or not by their attitude.
You probably get the feeling of the crowd, too, don't you?
Yes, the spirit and the excitement of what's going to happen.
Tony, this is my big chance. No one's going to stop me. I'm going to sing a song, and maybe you can put me in some spot, you know, nightclub or something. Mm-hmm. You tell me if I got any potential.
Okay.
Ella lula mezzumara mamma mia bagirare.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how you'll go in this country, but in Italy you'll be a smash.
There's the bell for the main event, one of my own fights. I had the crown, and I'm going to defend it for the third time with a real tough opponent, Ezzard Charles. Polo Grounds, 1954. Let me tell you about it as I fought it. One of my roughest fights. He really was great this night. He gave me everything he had, and I had to come on real strong. I just couldn't get that one clean punch, and Charles, a clever fighter that he was, just was smart enough to keep me at a distance.
Well, I could tell you as a fight fan, I know it must have been real tough on you, but that's the kind of fight that I love, because you see both fighters really giving their all. Well, that's just one thing I'm going to cherish as long as I live. Thank you very much, Rocky.
Pleasure, Tom. The bigger they are, the nicer they are. And you can make it as easy as they did. Just remember, keep your left hand high, chin down, and keep punching.